y'all, it's Paula and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about something that's a little bit controversial, and that is body confidence and just being confident in yourself. And it shouldn't be controversial. It shouldn't be a thing, but it is. And I feel like a lot of people struggle with this. I know I certainly do. It's gotten better as I've gotten older, but I still struggle with it. It used to be way worse when I was younger. A lot of mine stems from the disability. Not having what society calls a normal body. That's a little bit of a blow, especially when someone comments on certain things or whatever, and people can, especially younger people like middle school, high school, that age group can kind of be nasty and rude and mean. I feel like for me it started around middle school. I started being pretty self-conscious with the way I looked. And I remember one incident in particular. I was in 7th grade, and I was in class, and I bent down to pick up a pencil or something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I bent over for some reason, and a girl saw my hump, which is my spine. That's just the way that it's made, and it's from the disability, so there's not really anything I can do about it. But she looked at it, and she kind of looked me in my face, and she looked back at my back, and I said, "What?" And she goes, "Why does your spine look like that?" I was like, "Well, it's from my disability." And she was like, "That's weird," and walks away. I was like, well, okay, that was rude. Didn't really think too much of it. Didn't say anything. So I let it go. But throughout the year, I kind of started getting, more comments like that. And up until this point, nobody really said anything. I mean, kids, would ask certain things, but nobody just blatantly looked at me and was like, "Your body's weird." Up until this point. But I feel like that year was kind of the year for people started, to say things, and it kind of it messed with me. It messed with my confidence, and it messed with the way I looked at myself. Because up to this point, I really didn't pay it any attention. I was a kid, and I just, I looked the way I looked, and it didn't really bother me. But I feel like middle school was kind of the blow to the confidence, where people would say things, and I would be like, am I weird? Does my body look weird? Do I, am I supposed to look a certain way, or whatever? So wasn't, too big of a deal. I was a little insecure about it, but nothing too major. 7th and 8th grade year, fast forward to high school. Y'all, I was the most awkward human being on the face of the planet in high school, and any of my teachers can tell you so. They're going to watch this and die laughing because of how awkward I was. By the way, I was that kid that hung out with mostly teachers because kids my own age at that time were just not into things that I was into. But anyway. So high school rolls around. I'm a freshman. And people were awful. Horrible, awful, just terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible people. Not everybody, but a lot of people. And just high school just absolutely destroyed me. It ate me alive, and I let it for several years. People would make comments about my back, or they would make comments about I looked heavier than what I should, or just whatever. I even had one person tell me that I needed lip injections in high school because my top lip was too small. First of all, I'm not old enough. Second of all, I wouldn't anyway. No shame to anyone who ever gets, anything done. You do you, as long as you're confident and it makes you happy. Good deal. Go for it. I'm terrified of needles, so no thank you. Absolutely petrified of needles. But high school was just awful. But oh my God. And it wasn't bad all 4 years. I won't say that it was bad all 4 years, because I did have a lot of good times, and I made a lot of really good friends in high school that I'm still friends with to this day. So it wasn't all bad, but it was a big blow to my confidence, and it took, I want to say, up until my junior, maybe even my senior year. Junior year, I felt like it kind of got a little better, but senior year was probably my best year, because I just got to the point to where I didn't care. I didn't care what anybody else thought. I was me, and I was who I was, and that was that. And if you liked me, great. If you didn't, that's fine. It was all good. But up to that point, I feel like I was so awkward because people made me that way. And that made me feel that way. Made me feel like I wasn't normal. So I started perceiving myself as not normal, or like there was something wrong with me. And what people don't understand is that having a disability is not abnormal. It's something that, certain people are born with, and not everybody's body is the same. It's just not. And that's normal for everybody, to be built differently. But yeah, high school was rough. Up until like junior and senior year, like I said, and I just kind of got to the point that I didn't care. But up to that point, I was awkward, and I wasn't really shy. Because like I said, I talked to everybody, and I was super outgoing and super friendly, but I was super awkward. Like, especially if I would meet somebody new, I was so awkward. Like, I didn't know what to say, because I didn't know what they were going to say or what they were thinking. And I got so consumed with what people thought of me that I couldn't really just talk to people my own age. So I started hanging out with teachers. A lot. And a lot of them are going to watch this and be like, yep, we hung out with her. Including on our senior trip, I hung out with most of the teachers 90% of the time. And we had a blast. We went to the Bahamas on my 18th birthday, by the way. Shout out to all of my high school peeps who remember that trip. Oh, Lord. But anyway, not what this video is about. But yeah, I feel like middle school, beginning of high school was the worst, like, 3-4 years of my life. It just was. Because people were so mean. And, that stuff can really, really hurt. And I was the type of person, I never would say anything back because I didn't want to, I didn't want to argue and I didn't want to fight. So I kind of let people, I just let people say what they wanted to. And I just kind of, accepted what they were saying as fact when it wasn't, it wasn't true and it wasn't fact, it was their opinion. And I feel like everybody has an opinion about everything. So, but yeah, I would say for anybody who's struggling with body confidence, whether you have a disability or not, I feel like, 90% of the population, guys and girls, struggle with this. So, if you're watching this and you're having body issues, or you feel like you're not good enough, or you're not pretty enough, or you're not thin enough, or society says you should look a certain way and you don't look like that, it's all good. It's all fine. Not everybody's gonna look the same way. And that's okay. You are perfect the way you are. And if somebody says otherwise, they're wrong. And you can tell them that. You can tell them that to their face. They are wrong, not you. But I think that's it for this video. I love you guys, and if you're having body issues or you're having trouble with your confidence, remember you're absolutely beautiful just the way you are, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise because they're wrong. Okay, I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.